How should you fight a child support case when the state of Illinois is involved? Okay, I'm going to give you two nuggets. First, number one, ready? Know what you are fighting, because when you have a state child support case, you're actually fighting two different cases at the same time. And you need to know that, or you might win one and it doesn't matter that you won, okay? So you have both a judicial or a court case. And the court case, the judge in the court case is really who has the power to dictate and order child support, okay? So that's just crystal clear. And yet, you need to handle that right. But here's the thing. Unlike your average child support case where you have a private attorney or simply the state of Illinois is not involved, there's another part to a state child support case that I call fighting the bureaucracy. And here's what I mean. You have the court system, the judicial part of a case, where, let's just say a judge orders a certain amount of child support, whether it be, good, bad, goes up, goes down. But when the state is involved, you then have to make sure that that child support order is put into effect properly. There's a whole system that's going to basically fight you in terms of getting that court order implemented properly, especially if it's something that is actually good for the person paying child support. Maybe child support got lowered or the amount of the back due amount went down. So that's the first critical question and bullet to sort of know, is to know those two parts of the system that you are fighting, both a judicial case and basically kind of a fight the bureaucracy case after the judicial case has been resolved. And quite honestly, the fighting the bureaucracy is really the harder part, that you really need to know your way around the state government, and you need to know your contacts in that system to make sure the court's order is actually being enforced and implemented. So that's the first big point, is to simply know those two different things that you're actually fighting when you have a state child support case, okay? Now, second big point, get a super focused lawyer who has handled child support and state child support cases specifically before. Not a generic family law attorney, okay? You need somebody who knows how to basically fight that bureaucracy. You need focused, specialized knowledge from your attorney on a state child support case. And, okay, so why do you need that attorney, okay? First of all, right, even though technically the state of Illinois does not represent either the person seeking child support or the person kind of like fighting it or defending it, the reality is that the person seeking child support or seeking to enforce child support, that person basically has a free lawyer. I could give you the technical answer on how they're not really their lawyer. You wouldn't know the difference, though, if you're in a courtroom. And if you don't have a lawyer, you're going to get taken advantage of, just like anybody when it's me against a pro se litigant. I have to act in the best interests of my client, and oftentimes that would mean I'm going to have to use my knowledge and expertise to sort of take advantage of the pro se litigant. So why do you need that specialized attorney who knows their state child support cases? Is, if you don't, you're basically a pro se litigant fighting against another person with an attorney, okay? Second bullet, kind of underneath that idea of needing an attorney, is, child support now, last 5 years or so, I'm forgetting, 4 or 5, You need to know income and financial information of both sides of the case, because child support is now basically a formula that takes into account the income and financial resources of both parties. And I'll tell you, when you're in those state child support cases, they're only going to basically grab the financial information of the person they're trying to collect child support against, and they're not going to lift a finger to get the financial information of kind of like their client or the person who's seeking child support. And you need somebody who's going to get that financial information, because it is absolutely critical when it comes to calculating child support. That's the name of the game. How do you affect the amount of child support? You affect basically and learn the income of both parties. If you don't have an attorney, you're not going to know the income of that other party very well, if at all. So why do you need an attorney? You can't be pro se fighting on your own. You got to have somebody who's going to get the income from the other side of a case, because that's half of the child support case. And then finally, and here's the funny thing, if you get a good focused attorney who knows their stuff on state child support cases, it's the best bang for your buck in family law that I'm aware of. And here's why. These cases are easy to sort of win or essentially take advantage of the other attorney. And the reason is, the people who are attorneys for the state of Illinois on child support cases, two things are true. And some of these guys are good people and they're friends of mine, but here's what they are. They're super inexperienced attorneys, and number two, they're attorneys who are like overloaded. It's like they have like 30 child support cases every day. So they're gonna like give about this much effort for one of those 30 because they got 30 others. So, if you have an attorney who's going to be like hardcore, I'm your attorney, I'm going to fight for you, I'm not dealing with like 30 cases in the courtroom for 5 minutes each, you can really get a much better result almost than any other type of case, because your attorney can really kind of like take advantage of the overworked and inexperience of the other on the other side of a state child support case. So you got that? How should you fight a state child support case? Know what you're fighting. You're fighting two fronts. It's not just one. It's not just the court case. You got to know that. Know what you are fighting, and number two, get a focused lawyer who's handled state child support cases before.